Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, citizens of all ages, welcome back to another edition of Holy Fucking Shit! Look at them frames! Holy shit! It's up in the 50s! Oh, butter server! Yip yip ya fucking who? Alright, oh, nah, that, oh, no, oh. I just, installed the new NVIDIA drivers that just came out, and good lord, would you look at that smooth, beautiful goodness. So, got a couple things I'd like to talk about today. One, in particular, is talking about the Gladiator, the Anvil Gladiator. I used to absolutely positively love the Gladiator, and ever since 3.0 I have not been the biggest fan. I may have touched on this previously at one point, but the Gladiator used to allow the pilot control of not only the wing weapons, but the turret as well. But apparently that was a bug, and 3.0 quote fixed that bug, and I don't like that. That breaks my heart. Because I think the Gladiator was a much better weapon when the pilot had full advantage of the turrets as well as the wing weapons. But, moving on. So, let's, I guess try something a little bit new than what I normally do. Oh, what's that, Will? Are you going to be funny and entertaining? Ah ha ha ha! Ouch. So, I wanted to touch on just a couple of things. In particular, Calling All Devs. Now, Calling All Devs, as you may be aware, is a show which I think goes on Mondays, if I recall correctly. And you know, you got Jared, and he calls the developers, asks them questions about stuff. It's actually pretty cool. So, of course, every time I go this way, I get interdicted. So they are planning to put weather in space. And I'm actually kind of stoked about that. I think it would be really, really cool to implement weather in space. Oh, another one just popped up. I saw that. No, thank you. Now, they're looking into possibly putting in mineable clouds. Possibly more, I think they said, like, physicalized clouds, and by that it's kind of like the NVIDIA what's it called? It's that tech in Batman where you can actually physically interact with the smoke. So like if you walk through it, in this case it would actually be clouds, not smoke. But oh, god damn it. So they want to have the mineable clouds. They want to introduce solar flares, which I think could be a really cool idea, especially if they could do something where it's like have like different tiers of it. So like if you're at, you know, say a kilometer away, when Jesus Christ, when the solar flare kicks off, it's just a quick EMP. You know, you'll be down for, you know, 30, 40 seconds, whatever the time variable they're using is. Then if you're like, you know, 1,000 to 800 meters away, it'll be a more intense version, like a more intense version of the EMP, where you're down for even longer than that, and you might actually incur like hull damage or something. And then if you're like 500, or I'm sorry, I stopped at 8. And if you're like 8 to 500, it'll be like catastrophic. You could lose pieces of your ship. And then contact. And then, if it's anything less than that, then you just get pulverized or vaporized in this instance. I think that would be kind of neat. They're also looking to implement asteroid showers. I think that would be a little bit easier for them to implement, because then you could just kind of have, for lack of a better term, like a random like perimeter, like a boxed perimeter pop up in certain areas where, like asteroid showers will fly through. I think that would be really cool to have to try to survive and get past, meteor showers. That could be a really, really neat idea. Also, obviously, speaking of weather, they're obviously going to be putting forth weather on planets, which, again, kind of seems like a no-brainer, but obviously they had to mention it. I'm actually really excited to start seeing different biomes and different, like, legitimate environments. So, kind of like the Lear 3 demo that they showed, what was that, I think 2016? CitizenCon, right? Maybe. It was one of the demos that they played. I want to say it was 2016. And it was just gorgeous. Like, it starts far out and it zooms in, and it goes through like a snowy area down to a tropical area to a desert area, and the majority of the gameplay takes place in the desert area. It was the sandworm. Really, really cool. Did I say that correctly? The sandworm? I felt like I mucked that up. And I really want to see that planet. I want to see Lear 3. Like, I'm excited to see Hurston later this year. Super excited to see ArcCorp. Like, holy shit on a shingle, Batman. That is going to be incredible. Just from the little bits, well, comparatively little bits that we've seen, because we've seen a good amount, especially of ArcCorp. My mind is just blown. If they're able to get in the network optimizations, in a timely manner, because I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit worried because for the size of the planets that they're looking to do, even on that demo that they showed, where it was just that singular person, and if you've ever played offline, you'll know it's, especially now, like that they've patched it a couple times, it really seems like they're doing something, because when you play offline, I've been able to definitely see the performance updates and upgrades comparatively. Like now in the offline, it gets to 60, and usually stays there for a good amount of time, and it drops, yeah, but it doesn't drop anywhere near as it did previously. So that does give me some hope, and that's why I'm only a little bit scared. But to be completely honest, I'm a little bit scared because it seems like they need a monumental amount of optimizations in order to get the game to run where they want. And although the game in its current state in this iteration is again comparatively small, with the sheer amount of people, it really stresses out the systems. and by the systems I mean, you know, the client systems, you know, the end user, our PCs. I mean, as you can look right now, the frames are bouncing very, very wildly. But again, I mean, there's so much detail. You know, I'm not expecting it to run at 60, especially in this stage of the development. I just want 25 to 30. That's like acceptable, you know, in my opinion. Just there. Like it's bouncing all the fuck around, and it's really a little irritating. But I'm really nervous because of the sheer size and detail and what they want to, you know, implement. I really hope on the larger planets that they're not as barren as most of these moons. You know, each moon has maybe 5 or 6, you know, locations, for lack of a better term, that are really fleshed out. Well, not even really fleshed out, but they, you know, for the size of the small outposts, there's definitely a lot of detail, and you can tell they really, you know, wanted to make it feel like it was lived in, just with all the little effects, you know, the little touches here and there, like the sticky notes and you know, open food and whatnot. But I worry because just with how small these are comparatively, like these moons in this universe, it's, you know, it seems to really take a toll, especially on the frames. And if that really is network related, you know, it seems like the game at the go is going to be at a slight disadvantage for anybody who's not running like a fiber connection, if I'm understanding what they're saying correctly. And I just worry that without like a fiber connection and what is essentially a super godly PC for the day when Star Citizen releases. So I don't mean like what a super godly PC is now, like if you got like an i9, you know, SLI 1080 Ti's. I wouldn't SLI. One is always better in my opinion, especially with a game like this. But you know, you get an i9 1080 Ti, 64 gigs of RAM. Well, I'm sure when the game comes out, that will probably be like medium low, you know, compared to. So I hope it's not as godly in terms of its requirements to run. But I'm starting to feel like that might be the thing. Now, I know what some of you are probably screaming and angrily typing in the comments is, but Will, don't worry. When object containers and object container streaming and this tech comes online and hits, it will be all good in the hood. I hope so. That's all I'm going to say, is I hope so. I understand that the idea is it's kind of like micro loading in areas as the level, and then, you know, things will deload and load in as needed. But again, brings me back to my original point. That sounds like something you might need fiber for. So again, I'm a little bit worried that without like a fiber connection and highly detailed. The game is highly detailed, and a highly expensive, a highly super duper, you know, like superhero powered computer, that most of us may not be able to run what its final form is. This isn't even my final form. But I have faith. I have faith that they will do what they can. But I mean, like, look at, I am chugging along. This hurts, and I'm just flying to a moon. Oh, I'm trying to correct the view so at least it looks neat. So you guys got something cool to look at while I just blabber on. But I'm really, I went off on a tangent there. Holy shit. So basically what I'm saying is I'm really excited to see planets like Lear 3, and I'm just worried that with the amount of detail, there's an admin apparently in my ship, but with the amount of detail and all that stuff, I'm a little worried about the performance and the optimizations. But hopefully that object container streaming is going to do what they say, and hopefully they get it online sooner rather than later. 'Cause, man, I want to see that Idris. Oh, that living Idris. That that around the verse. Holy Jesus on a cracker. You know, like, fuck me running with a spoon. That thing was so, oh, that was gorgeous. And they had 81 NPCs in there. 81. Oh, I can't wait. Now, that's the one thing I'm really excited for, though, is like Squadron. Because Squadron, it's single player. So, they'll be able to, you know, get all that really cool shit in there, and the really cinematic, you know, views and the interactable I'm sorry, the interactable cutscenes where you can, you know, stay in it to be cinematic, or you can break out and actually be in first person's perspective, so that way you can be more immersive. I really dig that. And that's why I'm really excited for Squadron, because that's going to run, hopefully, fingers crossed, the way it's supposed to, as CryEngine is better used as a single-player engine. But, hey, you know, there's still so much time that they could surprise us. But I really, really want a planet like Lear 3. I want it. ArcCorp, holy crap, that I'm blown away for. That is a whole, I could talk about that for hours. Hurston also, that looks really cool. I can't freaking wait. But moving on. So they also said that they might be implementing electrical storms, kind of like the way it is in the Coil. Speaking of the Squadron 42 demo, that would be really, really neat. I'm really excited to see something along those lines as well. Different planet-side hazards. So I'm guessing, you know, they want to do something more than just like the storms, or maybe they'd have dangerous storms, you know, like a hurricane or a tornado, you know, where there is actually like giant tree trunks flying around and tearing stuff up, and that would be really cool to see. I would be really stoked if they had that kind of like hazardous weather on the planets. Environmental hazards, again, I can only think, you know, maybe dangerous types of atmosphere, or just actual dangerous physical entities, or something. Like maybe there's like a Sarlacc pit, you know, or quicksand, or some crazy shit like that. That would be really, really cool. I really hope that they implement occupied derelicts. So whether that be, you know, you get to a derelict site and then there's like a couple of pirate ships landed there, and, you know, there's pirates who are already looting the place or looking at it and trying to loot it, and then they attack you. Or you go to something like, you know, a crashed Starfarer, like they've been showing in some of the promo stuff, where it looks like there's like tents and like tarps, shit like that. And like a solar farm or something. I would be super stoked to see like the what is it? Like that's wow, I can't English. The Microid, is that it? The Microid armor, the one that kind of looks like the Tusken Raiders from Star Wars. I would like to see, you know, on certain planets, like ones that have like atmospheres and environments like that, I would love to see more of those Tusken Raiders again, like Lear 3. If that was their planet or something like that, I don't know, that would be so cool. I'm really excited for the day that they implement hostile NPC landing zone. Landing zone, would that be? Well, anyway, places like derelict ships that you could land or something like that, where there are NPCs to, you know, get into FPS battles with. I hope those are also coming sooner rather than later, because that would be something really, really cool. I'm really looking forward to that as well. They also talked about implementing like night vision, thermal vision, having that like for weapon attachments. I think they'd be remiss if they didn't have some sort of visor HUD overlay with night vision or something like that. They definitely have to work on the flashlight, because man, what kind of flashlights are we using in Star Citizen? Are they like 4 lumen flashlights? Like they seem so just dim, and it's just it's frustrating when you really can't see well what you're trying to see, and it doesn't help these frames either. Where can I land? Can I land? Can I even land here? Doesn't look like it. How much you want to bet I'm gonna get a crime stat when I land here? Hailing? Yeah, nothing. Alright. Watch me get a crime stat for landing at the mission spot. Watch me get a crime stat for landing at the mission spot. Man, that's beautiful though. Like, just look at that scene. This is what I'm talking about. Like, this is why I really dig on Star Citizen. Like, it just scenes like that is so cool. Top out. Let's go take a look at that in person. So like I was saying, they're looking to implement possibly like an NVG scope, night vision goggle scope, or like a thermal scope, brighter flashlights, which they definitely need, because again, I mean, just look at how dinky this is. This is like a keychain flashlight. You know, it's like one of those ones. I can't even say that, because I saw a keychain flashlight the other day that was bright as fuck. But like, just, oh my god. These kind of vistas and the way that this is just so gorgeous. I mean, this is what I'm so excited about when I talk about Star Citizen, and that's why I really want this to be as good as it can, as quickly as it can, because this is just amazing. They've really got a handle on the engine now, I think. So I hope that they get it going. But look how it's not even that dark, but I can still barely see. Like, that's not very far. I really hope they beef that up, and it seems like there were talks to do just that. So I'm really looking forward to them updating the flashlight. It, in my opinion, is another severely needed quality of life update. Let's see. Do I have to talk to this guy? Yes, I do. Hey, buddy boy.
Need something?
Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, I do. I got a totally not suspicious, not sketchy message asking me to come here and get a thing for a guy. Wink, wink. It said wink, wink in the message, and I need to, like, nudge you. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I can't talk right now.
Is there cameras? Alright, let's try that again. Hey, buddy.
What can I do for you?
Yeah, so, you know, I gotta come and, pick something up from, you know, a guy who was totally not sketchy at all. You know, the guy, wink, wink. Like I said previously, wink, wink was, like, in parentheses and had, like, stars around it. Oh!
Go on, take it.
Well, alrighty then. I'll... Sheesh. You don't gotta be so... You
That's
know.
all.
Wow. Wow, and you just... That's all. You know, I'm a human. I have feelings. Fuck you. So one thing that did make me a little bit sad, aside from that guy's attitude, fuck that guy, right? I mean, Jesus, with that screwed up mohawk, no, I'd be mad at the world too. So one question I've actually had on my mind for quite a while is quite a long time ago when they first showed off Star Marine, they showed a bunch of gadgets and gizmos and like things like a personal shield, like that you would drop, and all sorts of like gizmos and gadgets. And it was asked if there was anything like that in the works or planned, and unfortunately, nothing like that in the works, although it seems that idea has been tossed around a bit, and they are looking to revisit it. Now, if you know what I'm talking about and you've seen the footage of Star Marine with those gadgets, and you're like, hey, wait a minute, yeah, I remember that. Why aren't those in there? Well, there's actually a really good reason as to why. Basically, what happened was SIG actually outsourced the work of Star Marine to another company. I don't remember the company's name offhand, but they basically built it in the complete wrong metrics. So they couldn't use any of it. Oh shit, wait. I could hit that. So they couldn't use any of it. So they basically, all the work that went into it had to get scrapped. And, kind of had to start over, and that's why Star Marine feels so like, I don't want to say barren, because I don't think that's the right word, because there's definitely things to do, but, well, for lack of a better term, barren. And that's why there aren't all the really cool gizmos and gadgets that were previously shown off. They just had to get thrown out. Now, I would think, though, it shouldn't take too much to get that shit into spec. God damn it. Interdiction left and fucking right. I can't escape it. It won't leave me alone. I don't even want to deal with this. So they got to basically go back, rebuild all that stuff, and put it into the proper spec, proper spec. Really, that's about it. I really think, though, they need to build the night vision goggle and thermal vision into the HUD. I mean, that just makes sense to me. The Polaris, oddly, still basically at the end of the concept phase. That's it. It's not even in white box, I don't think. So hopefully after the 600i, which the timelines seem a little bit weird, so I feel like they're not working on the 600i really, even though we saw a picture of it. I think that's as far as they got, like that one model. Because it seems like during one of the interviews he said, oh yeah, we'll be starting that in April or May or something like that. But the thing is supposed to be due in June, if I'm not mistaken. June or September. Unless, I mean, they've just gotten their pipeline that streamlined, but if that's the case, then why are ships kind of kicking out so slowly? I don't know. If you have any ideas or any suggestions, leave them down in the comments, because I would actually definitely like to hear some of y'all's input. Another ship I am actually excited to see is the 600i. I'm a little disappointed with how small it is, because, like, oh shit, there's enemies in them there hills. I thought the 600i was going to be much larger, to be honest. I thought it was going to be more like half the size of the 890, especially given its price point. I was really expecting, I was expecting it to be much larger. Oh shit. Don't get me wrong though, I'm still definitely excited to see it. And my missiles aren't working. No! Ah, hard to evasive. Oh, I just saw that guy pop up in front of me. What the hell? Alright, there we go. We need to make a quick escape because they are now just spawning wildly everywhere. Make it so, number one. Whoosh! Quick. We need to get as far away as we can before they crash the game. We're almost at our mission, LZ. We just need to get to the LZ. Oh shit! I am far as fuck from the LZ now. All right. Well, we can make it. We got this. We got this. Some other interesting news also is the Evocati group is doubling. So, first wave Evocati is now going from like, what was it, like around 900 to like 1,000 or something like that, to I think they said like 2,000 or 2,500. I think it was 2,000, and it's going to be comprised of the top, I think they said like 600 contributors. As well as bringing in people who are the top players in like Star Marine, the races, and I don't remember if they said Pirate Swarm or anything like that, but I'd have to assume they'd at least bring someone with that expertise in as well. And I think that's a great idea, especially considering they're looking to implement, you know, so many of these new pieces, you know, going into the PU as well as Star Marine. With like the new FPS weapons, that makes a lot of sense, and I think that's actually a great idea. Now that brings me back to a thought and a question, because I received an email not too long ago as a concierge, and it said that concierge going forward are all going to be in first wave Evocati. So if that's the case, am I also in this first wave? I would be actually really stoked if I was, because I am, as most of you I'm sure are aware, that Reclaimer, oh man, that's a sexy ship. Yes, gimme. So going up to like 2,000, and if you want to become part of the Evocati, all you got to do is play the game. Okay, that's not all you got to do. You got to play the game. And then you've also got to go and,
shield system online.
Why are my shields at 50? You gotta, sorry, play the game, and you gotta report bugs. You gotta report the issues. Now, you don't want to report things that have already been reported. If you do that, you're literally just making more work. You're gonna make it harder. So you always want to search for your issue, and you want to try to word it as best as you can. Excuse me. And what I try to do is I try to word it in a couple of different ways each time, because there's been a few times where I'd search 2 or 3 times not find anything, and then on like the fourth time that I've worded it slightly different, boom, there it is, and it's the exact issue that I was about to make a new report on. So instead, I go and I contribute, and I input as much information as I can, try to be as descriptive as I can, so that way they have a better, easier time in recreating the issue, because that's what they got to do to fix it. Some of you may not know, but it's not like you can just tell them, oh hey, when I do X, you know, I spawn with no pants, you know, and they're like, oh, okay. That doesn't give them what they need, because what they need to do is they need to be able to recreate it on their end, so they can look at their metrics, their debugging, and see what was causing it to then fix it. So, being as descriptive as you can with your bug reports is always good. Now, you don't want to fill it with fluff and filler and, you know, turn it into like an essay unless it requires it. You know, if it's like a super convoluted bug, but you feel that it needs to be, you know, looked at, then by all means. But keep in mind, there's a second, you know, you're contributing. So, usually, bug reports have to get X amount of contributes. I think it's 10, or I think it might have went up, but I remember at one point at least it was 10. So, 10 other people have to at least say, hey, yeah, me too, and contribute. Oh, what the shit? What was that? Oh, come the fuck on. You're kidding. Well. No, come on. All that. This was the only mission I wanted to accomplish, just so that way it was something to do while I talked. And like, what the fuck? That is my luck. And it's gonna be shot. Watch. I'm not gonna be able to do anything. Place. That's all I can do. Well, off to issue council. Speaking of which, I must have jinxed myself. I had to have jinxed myself talking about the issue council. So I'm going to be very descriptive in this. I'm going to say, well, I ran a mission, and the whole time the frames were buggy, dropping very heavily. And I went to go pick up the box, and I got a frame drop where it went down to about 4 FPS. And when the game went back up to about 15, all I could do was place when I put my cursor over it. Right there, you'd be able to probably tell it was a networking issue. There's probably not a whole lot they can do except for then talk to the network guys, try to reinforce the packets, you know, have a double check or some shit. I don't know. I'm not a network engineer. Oh, that is a kick in the pants. Yep, this shit is shot. Ay vey. Alrighty. Well, I guess that's as good a time as any to end this video. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below in the comment section, as I am more than happy to try to answer any questions that you guys may have. Just know that YouTube doesn't always tell me when the comments pop up, so you know, bear with me. I have to usually go back and manually do it, but I manually checked all the comments and whatnot, so it might take me a little bit to give to you if you've posted something, so please hang in there. Just a reminder, we do have the giveaway going on until Saturday. The the X1 Origin Space Bike giveaway was reopened because the subsequent winner fell off the earth, and I haven't talked to him for over 3 weeks, so I figured, you know what, I want to make good. I didn't make a video about it. So you got until Saturday, so like and comment on any of my videos from here back to January. Make sure you're subscribed. That's the most important part. You got to be subscribed, like, and comment any of the videos. The more videos that you comment and like on, the better chance you have of winning. And good luck to all of you. There's a couple of great things coming up in the works. We are planning to have a podcast on Saturday to announce the winner. So I hope you guys tune in for that. I will keep you posted on the exact time, but I'm aiming for late morning, early afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. But again, it is not fully nailed down yet. So, thank you very much, everybody. All you beautiful bastards out there, have yourselves a wonderful day, morning, evening, wherever, whenever, however you are, which I hope is good. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Will. Peace. Well, that was a pathetic salute.